Alright, today we are working a little bit on an SRC MP40. This here is apparently the problem. Anyway, it works. It works cause this thing runs on 0.5 joules to make it legal in Germany with full auto, and I guess the tension on the box is not high enough to make this bearing a problem yet. I disassembled it a little bit and I will show you how to reassemble later. This thing has a quite unique gearbox design. The screws are the usual fucking bad ones. There is a MOSFET inside. There's also a version with a ETU something inside, which kind of allows semi-auto, but of course is bullshit for an MP40. The gearbox design actually is quite cool, and it's quite easy to just get to the pneumatic parts, like this. As you've seen, I do not have to disassemble the motor and the wiring and all that stuff. So this spring is for 0.5 joules. It's freaking weak, which means the piston will get shredded in a while or two, and the other stuff is pretty standard. So you have this, I don't know if this is manually engraved, looks like, but it's also, no, it's sticking out, so I guess this is part of the temper plate. The piston actually for an gun with a normal 1 to 1.5 joule power, like 400 FPS, this would be a good piston. For 0.5 joules is shit. So we're gonna exchange this. The gears are pretty standard, the spring guide is pretty good, the cylinder head is pretty good, the cylinder is okay. The shimming could be better, and the ball bearings obviously, well, let's say this is unusual, because these ball bearings are big enough to go with an M120 spring or something else. And this is quite unusual at this point to be broken, but yeah, maybe some kind of factory flaw. I will just throw in another one, and we will see how it works out. Next thing to do is putting in a new piston, as the original piston head was fixed quite good onto the original piston. I guess they kind of glued it. I just use another one. This is a Spagna Arms one. These are fairly good. One O-ring, I like one O-ring. This one isn't sealing up very well. I will use an SHS one. In fact, for a fast build, I like the ones with one O-ring the most, because the movement has to be fast, and this is crucial. This thing will shoot 0.5 joules afterwards. I will now check if the piston is moving correctly. This is very important. It needs to move as smooth as any way possible. So now I will check if the piston has any friction on the gearbox shell. And as you can see, there is barely no friction on the gearbox shell. If this thing would be clamped anyhow, we would need to modify it, but that's not the case, so we will just reassemble the whole thing with the strongest spring, of course, and we will do a short stroke before. So, of course this is 0.5 joules, so most of you people won't be interested in this, but we are going to short stroke 10 teeth and do the same for the piston. After this magic cut, I got a modified piston and a modified sector gear. If you just want to build a fast gun which runs quite smooth, you can possibly go for 4 or 6 teeth removed, just a small short stroke, and you will have a faster shooting gun with a little bit lower FPS. Damn it, come on. You need to remove teeth from the pickup side of the gear, this is crucial. Or you will, well, in this case you will have no problems because it's only full auto, but in a normal gun you will have problems because you have feeding issues if you short stroking from the wrong side. Anyway, we will now reassemble this thing very fast and check how it's going. Alright, as mentioned, this thing is quite easy to reinstall. As long as you don't want to change the motor, you can just put this back in. And if you want to change the motor, you can just get the screws out from the motor cage and you can just get it off there. This whole thing is quite easy to disassemble. And it's quite cringy too. This is like, yeah, it's a little bit weird, and the battery compartment is weird because you have to completely get off the upper receiver from the lower to reach it. Anyhow, it's quite easy to test because we can just put it together. And do not assemble all the, yeah, let's say, paneling from the outside, or on the outside. So this is the original 7.4 battery. The sound got a lot better than before. We will just assemble the other parts of the body, and then we will go for a little test firing. But first I will show you the hop compartment. This is the hop up. There are 2 screws holding the front barrel with the hop assembly. This one, and on the other side is another one. And if you got this apart, you can just yeah, do half a, what the fuck is that? You can just do half a turn and take out the hop chamber. This one's quite okay-ish. You can just exchange the hop rubber if you want. and it's easy to reach as well. So yeah, in terms of accessibility, this gun is quite cool. The usual MP40 magazines fit, like I think there are King Arms, there are AGM and Marui of course, and yeah, they all fit. And as you can see, we can just do some test firing without reassembling the paneling. Alright, I will just try it out on the chrono next. I realized there is quite a little bit of wobbling in there. Maybe this gets better if we reinstall the funneling, but we will see after the chrono test. The chrono test was quite okayish. We have like an energy balance in there, because we have this wobbling. So we have 0.2 joules to 0.5 joules, which means we have to reinstall the covering, but we will first, of course, change the plug to use a proper battery and yeah, to have this thing removed, which annoys me all the time. Okay, let's just go over this very quick. We're using a proper T-plug, of course, and in this case I use shrinking tube with glue in there, so it won't glide away on these, yeah, standard AG cables. I don't really like that much, but there is no need to remove them. Okay, I will reinstall the furniture now, and after that I will do a few more test firing. By the way, this thing here, I should have put it on before assembling the actual gearbox to the motor and the lower body, because yeah, well, I can screw this on right now, but it's not as easy as it could be, because the angle is not optimal. Yeah, it would be a lot nicer if the gearbox was removed. I was just, yeah. Okay. So, as you may have mentioned, the blowback is gone now. I use a regular piston, and the original piston, give me a second, looks like that. So the original piston, you can see the dented dark parts here. We'll just grab the whole, yeah, bolt carrier here and get it back and do some kind of EBB blowback thingy thing, which is not very amazing if you have a 0.5 joules gun, because the sound isn't as good as it could be, and so it's not interesting for me. If you do this, I recommend you to do the short stroke till the point the original piston has metal teeth. So the last piston teeth that's a release teeth then should be still metal. I've just realized that there is one screw left, which goes which assembles the upper body to the lower body, and I have to remove this again. This one is missing. I just did not realize it fits there, and I thought we had to put it in from the outside, cause this screw has not the right shape for the screw hole, which is a little bit weird, but obviously yeah, we could replace it. I think they just decided to order a bunch of screws all the same and ignored the fact they did plan for 2 different kinds. Anyway, reassembly very easy, you just screw on the furniture, and yeah, after that you can do the test firing again, and we will do this. You may have realized I just lowered the sound of the original video at this point because someone in the background decided to start using a vacuum cleaner, which is quite loud, and you will maybe hear this if I give it a little bit of volume for the test firing now. So the rate of fire is quite good. The energy is also quite good, as I tested before, and what I'm gonna do now is to just try and get this battery inside, and if this is possible, this is amazing, because block type batteries are the best ones. If not, yeah, we have to use a smaller one, but anyway, for a 0.5 joules gun, this is really a thick battery. As I tried out before, there is this little wobbling, which is nearly gone now. And this means the energy should be quite stable. I really hope it's not on the lower part of stable, and yeah, I really hope this was engineered well enough to be like on the upper side, like 0.4 to 0.5 joules. And just to remember our beginnings, that's now, that's before. Alright, this is it. Have fun with your MP40, if you have one.